report of things that should not be possible. So settle in and listen close. And remember, do not change your frequency. Good evening, and welcome to the Midnight Hour broadcast. Wherever you're listening from tonight, we're glad you found the signal. Tonight's transmission takes us to a place unlike any we've explored before. A place many people drive past without ever realizing they're in the shadow of an ancient civilization. A place where one of North America's greatest cities once stood, only to vanish into history, leaving behind towering mounds, unanswered questions, and stories that refuse to fade. Today, the landscape may seem quiet, but nearly 1,000 years ago, this was anything but an empty field. We know this place as Cahokia, but the people who built this incredible city left no written record of what they called it. At its height, Cahokia was home to thousands of people, a place filled with homes, plazas, ceremonies, trade, and towering monuments that rose above the surrounding landscape. But what made Cahokia truly remarkable is not just that it existed. It's what its people were able to accomplish. They developed advanced farming practices, growing crops such as maize, beans, and squash, crops that would support a growing population and allowed a city of thousands to flourish. Cahokia was also connected to a vast network that stretched far beyond the surrounding landscape. Materials and goods traveled hundreds of miles to reach the city, showing just how far its influence extended. This was not an isolated settlement. Cahokia was a place connected to a much larger world. The people of Cahokia were skilled builders, artists, and craftspeople. They created tools, pottery, ornaments, and objects that reflected both daily life and their beliefs. Every piece left behind tells a small part of a larger story. A reminder that this is not just a place of monuments, but a place where people lived, created, celebrated, and raised families. But perhaps one of the most fascinating parts of Cahokia is the connection between the city and the sky above. Structures such as Woodhenge suggest that the people of Cahokia carefully observe the movement of the sun, marking important points of the year through solar alignments. The same civilization that shaped the earth below also looked upward, following the patterns written across the sky. And standing above this remarkable city was its greatest symbol, a monument that still rises above the landscape today. Monk's Mound. It remains the largest prehistoric earthen structure in North America. Rising nearly 100 feet above the surrounding landscape, higher than a 10-story building, it dominates the horizon, much as it did nearly 1,000 years ago. What makes this place even more remarkable is how it was built. There were no bulldozers, no cranes, no modern machinery, only countless hands carrying basket after basket of earth until, over generations, this incredible monument took shape. From its summit, leaders could look out across a thriving city, watching daily life unfold below. Even today, standing atop Monk's Mound brings a sense of perspective. The wind moves across the prairie, and it's difficult not to imagine what this place must have looked like and sounded like when the city was alive. For centuries, Cahokia stood as one of the greatest cities in North America. Its people farmed these lands, traded across vast distances, watched the movement of the sun, and built monuments that still stand today. Then, something changed. Sometime during the 1300s, the city began to decline. The plazas grew quieter. Homes were abandoned. The voices that once filled this landscape slowly disappeared. Why? The truth is, no one knows. Some believe years of environmental change made life difficult. Others point to a shortage of resources or political unrest within the city itself. Whatever the reason, an entire civilization faded and vanished from this land. Some cities are remembered because they survive. Others are remembered because they vanished. Not every secret buried beneath Cahokia remained hidden. In an area known as Mound 72, archaeologists uncovered one of the most unsettling discoveries ever made at this site. Among the burials were individuals believed to have held great importance, but they were not alone. The remains of many others were found nearby, including groups of young women, and evidence suggests that they may have been sacrificed as part of the ceremonies surrounding those burials. It is a reminder that Cahokia was not only a place of incredible achievement, but also a civilization with traditions we are still trying to understand. Today, Cahokia is peaceful. Families walk its trails, school groups visit its museums, runners make their way past monuments that have stood for centuries. To most, it is a beautiful place to spend the afternoon, but not everyone leaves with the same story. Over the years, visitors have spoken of hearing voices carried by the wind. Conversations that seem close enough to understand. Then when you stop to listen closer, they vanish. Others describe seeing shadowy figures standing between the mounds, watching them from a distance, silent, disappearing the moment someone looks twice. But perhaps the strangest reports don't involve seeing anything at all. Many people simply describe an overwhelming feeling. A feeling they are not alone, that they are being watched, that someone is standing just beyond their line of sight. Others describe a presence that follows them from one mound to the next, not threatening, not violent, just an unmistakable feeling they are not alone. Whatever people experience among these mounds, one thing is impossible to deny. Cahokia is unlike any other place we've explored. Long before these trails welcomed visitors, they welcomed an entire civilization. Generations lived here, worked here, celebrated here, and were buried here. We began tonight's transmission with a city that rose from the Mississippi floodplain and became one of the greatest centers of life in ancient North America. We followed its rise through farming, trade, craftsmanship, astronomy, and the monuments that still stand today. It grew into something extraordinary and then disappeared. Maybe that is what makes Cahokia so difficult to forget. Not simply the stories of shadows and voices, but the knowledge that an entire city once stood here, and that much of its story has been lost to time. The mounds remain, the questions remain, and as we continue tonight's transmission, we'll leave the ancient city behind us for just a moment and let the signal speak for itself.
It was 3:09 when it all began. Early morning, sun still blinked. No one could know the coming force, an unstoppable monster, an unknown sword. The ground shakes, the earth quakes. Rising of a titan. Cities burn, nowhere to turn. Rising of a titan. Of a titan. From the heaven, what can we do? The beast towering above a terrifying view. With many hits thrashing about, wings stretch wide, survival in doubt. The ground shakes, the earth quakes. Rising of a titan. Cities burn, nowhere to turn. Rising of a titan. Nations stand together, worldwide untied army, but it won't be enough to stop a kaiju so alarming. The ground shakes, the earth quakes. Cities burn, nowhere to turn. Where do we turn? Where do we turn? Where do we turn? Rising of a titan. Rising of a titan. Rising of a titan.
You are listening to the Midnight Hour broadcast. Thank you for staying with the signal. Tonight, we've walked through the remains of a city that once stood among the greatest in North America. A place built by thousands of hands, shaped by generations, and remembered centuries after its people were gone. But history is not the only thing that survives the passing of time. Some stories are carried by monuments, others by whispers. Across the years, legends have always found a way to return. Stories of a figure who vanishes into shadow. Names spoken around fires, tales of those who refuse to be forgotten. And somewhere beyond the edge of the signal, another story waits.
It was many suns ago, in a rain cut by smoke, fire, and gunpowder. There was a man they all know, no reputation could speak louder. He cast a shadow, ominous and wide, across all he could see. And when he walked, even silence learned to bleed. They say in the dust you don't look back when the wind turns red and the sky runs black. In the shadow, they say fight in the shade. In the shadow, come meet face to face. A gunslinger will rise in the shadows. Could it be tonight? Could it be tonight? The devil keeps a list of many can't claim, and on that list stands one name that won't fade. Silver at his side, reflects like lightning. Even hell's own gates find him frightening. They say no rope could hold him down, no grave ever kept him in the ground. In the shadow, they say fight in the shade. In the shadow, come meet face to face. In the shadow, a gunslinger will rise in the shadows. Could it be tonight? Could it be tonight? Rumors say he's died 100 deaths, hung from the pines and left for less. But when darkness calls and evil grows near, he rides back in silence, the end drawing near. Nothing can be done when his sights are set on you. The gunslinger's aim always cuts clean through. In the shadow, they say fight in the shade. In the shadow, come meet face to face. In the shadow, a gunslinger will rise in the shadows. This is your night. This is your night.
Tonight's transmission has come to an end. Some mysteries are solved with time. Others become a part of the places where they began. Every place has a story, and every story leaves something behind. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Midnight Hour broadcast. Remember, some signals don't stay in one place for long. Until next time, do not change your frequency. Good night.